Hey guys, my name's Jordan and welcome back to another episode of my Is It Worth It? This is the series in which I have a look at some of the guns you can unlock through assignments in Battlefield 4 and let you know whether or not I think it is worth it, let you know what it's good for, what it's bad for, and just a general bit of help really with the weapon itself. So today's episode is on the Mtar. Now this weapon is very easy to unlock. You can pretty much unlock it in one round without much trouble. You need to get one kill with an assault rifle, this can be any assault rifle, one kill with an LMG, one kill with a sniper rifle, and one kill with a grenade. And that is actually all you need to do to unlock this weapon. It really is a very, very simple thing. In fact, probably the hardest kill to get is probably a grenade kill. If you play something like a game of Conquest Large though, where you have plenty of time to get all the kills that you need to get. So yeah, we'll just get that out of the way. So it is really, really easy to unlock actually. I think I managed to do it. I literally just sat down the first round I did where I said I'm going to try and get the Mtar. I went and got it straight out. And I'm not the best of players by any stretch of the imagination. I'm probably quite a moderate player to be fair. Yeah, it genuinely is a very easy weapon to unlock. So just go over with my general thoughts of the Mtar. It seems to be a 25 damage weapon at close range. It has a 31 round mag. It fires between 800 and 1,000 rounds per minute. I'm not entirely sure at the moment, but it is a very, very fast fire rate. Very comparable to things such as the FAMAS and other really high fire rate like weapons. I probably would say it is more towards the 1,000 rounds a minute fire rate there, and I'll go a bit more into that later because it can be good and it can be bad. But anyway, yeah, it seems to do about 25 damage at short range. I think it's about out to I think it's about out to 10 meters personally. I think I can get it to do 25 damage, although as I've said before, the stats for these weapons aren't actually on Synthic at the moment, so I do not have like an exact figure for the damages of this thing. It does seem to drop off quite quickly. It definitely seems like a carbine tuned for close quarters combat. Now, as I said, it is a carbine, so you can use it on any class you want. And I personally recommend that you use it on the support class. Now my reasoning for this is that this thing is an absolute bullet hose. You start firing and you'll waste a mag in literally milliseconds. It just seems to fire out all the rounds so ridiculously fast that you are constantly having to reload. Started off playing it on the engineer class thinking, oh yeah, I can just keep it on the engineer class, and it just didn't go well. I was always out of ammo for it, always, all the time. So yeah, I would really recommend that you run it on the support class with either the ammo pack or the ammo bag, just because of the fact that it just seems to spray out bullets so ridiculously fast that you're always running out of ammo. Now this high rate of fire is very advantageous in close quarters. It is really, really easy to drop people really, really quickly in close quarters. In long range, it does sort of make it a little bit difficult, especially because it does have quite a vicious horizontal recoil. Because of that, you do really have to sort of tap it. You can't go all out, full out spray. Anything beyond, I'd say, probably 20 meters actually. It just doesn't work very well if you play it like that. But if you tap, it can actually be quite formidable out to sort of medium ranges. But any sort of long-ish ranges, you're much better going with something like the AK-5C, so it's slightly slower rate of fire carbine there, or an assault rifle or something to those means. And yeah, that's all I can think of at the top of my head at the moment. Let's have a quick think. So the recoil pattern of the Mtar is pretty much straight up. It's not like in Battlefield 3 where it used to pull to the right. It does seem to recoil pretty much straight up, and it really is quite easy to control in the close quarters engagements. The iron sight on it isn't brilliant. I would really recommend that as soon as you can, you slap a red dot sight on there. My favourite red dot sight to use on this weapon is actually the reflex red dot. I don't really know why. It just seems to be it seems to just look nice on the weapon, and it doesn't take up too much of your screen, especially when you are not scoped in. And obviously, because you were in those close quarters engagements, you do need that sort of peripheral vision just so you can see around the edge. So there's no point having a great big hulking scope on it. Now, I would really not recommend that you put any sort of 2x, 4x optics on this thing, because it just doesn't perform well enough at range to be able to let you use that. It really does recoil like so much. It does work really well, actually. If you manage to get a suppressor and put a suppressor on it, it does work really well as a close quarters stealth weapon. You can really get behind the enemy lines and just absolutely wreck them at close quarters. Now, one of the problems with this weapon is because of the fact it has such a high rate of fire, you often spray far too many bullets in your target to kill them. I found myself firing 15 shots into a target at close range to kill it, and you'll see in a couple of clips in this video I do actually run into big groups of enemies and I'm able to take 1 or 2 of them out, but then I just absolutely run out of bullets. And it's not that I'm being really sloppy and holding it down longer than I need to, it fires bullets out that fast that you just seem to waste so much ammo on it. Which obviously in close quarters is brilliant, because if you miss a few shots it doesn't matter because it can like match it up. But when you're running into big groups of enemies at sort of medium ranges, you are in a lot of trouble. Now the reload time for this weapon seems to be about 3 seconds. Obviously again, this is just from my own testing, and it's relatively fast, but it's not on par with some of the other guns in the game. So if you do run out of ammo in a close quarters situation, you are quite screwed. You do have to pull out your pistol and switch to that, because there just isn't... You can't just sort of duck around for a few seconds, jump around while it reloads, because it does take a fair amount of time to reload. It just seems to be what DICE have been doing with all the bullpup style weapons. They just seem to have made it so that you do have a very long reload time on it. But anyway, that pretty much sums it up for the Mtar. I do think it is definitely an assignment worth doing. I mean, it's not particularly difficult to do. As I said before, I did it in 1 round, and it is incredibly, incredibly powerful at close quarters. It actually replaces shotguns as my close quarters weapon of choice. I just have so much fun with it. It just seems like a much better weapon to use than a lot of the shotguns, and seems to perform a lot better at close range, especially if you if you miss a shot with a shotgun, then you are pretty screwed. Whereas this, it's just like a hold down bullet hose sort of thing, which works really, really well. So in the end, I would really recommend that you use this weapon. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment, and all that awesome, awesome stuff. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.